Today we're doing another 6 reviews in 6 minutes, and they're all from Limestone Farms. Hi friends, I'm Laura, this is Troy, we're Baker Drinks, and we're doing 6 reviews in 6 minutes from Limestone Farms.
Limestone Farms in Georgetown, Kentucky is the first distillery there in 50 years. And Georgetown, Kentucky is the birthplace of bourbon. That's where Elijah Craig distilled his first batch. They recently got some samples to us to try their entire lineup, and we're going to drink through them. There's some budget-friendly options and some pretty premium options in here. I'm excited to see what they're all about.
Tom Morrow, their brand ambassador, reached out and he said he wanted us to be honest because they use this information to decide what they need to tweak and make better in the future. The first one we're going to try is their newest expression. It's Bloodlines Heritage. It's a 78-13-9 mash bill, 6 years old, 92 proof, and it's supposed to be their more budget-friendly offering at about $39.
So on the nose, I'm getting like a lot of typical bourbon notes. Nothing's standing out in any sharp direction. Kind of got a cereal grain corn note to it.
I completely agree with everything Troy said for the one and only time. So the note I'm getting is if you've ever eaten corn raw, like uncooked, like you just pull it off the plant, eat it straight from the plant. That's what it tastes like to me.
It's got a little bit of a kick to it for 92 proof.
It doesn't come across as thin. There's plenty of flavor in it. It kind of reminds me of Larceny Small Batch.
I don't think there's anything bad about this whiskey. This is your average bourbon. I appreciate the price point. I appreciate that Limestone Farms has made something in that under $40 range to attract that market share.
I am impressed with how long the flavor holds up. For being 92 proof, I am still tasting that whiskey.
So this next one is also from the Bloodlines line at Limestone Farms. This is a 6 to 9 year old whiskey coming in 94 to 96 proof. This is not the small batch. This is not the heritage. This is right in between them. And right off the bat, this smells a lot better. So I smell some age in here. There's oak, all of the classic bourbon notes, vanilla caramel. This smells really good.
I think it's $60, so that's more probably the standard bottle that we would purchase would be at that price point. It definitely is a step up in flavor, and again, for it not being that big of a step up in proof, I can tell that there's a step up in proof.
Yeah, and a huge step up in quality as well.
Yeah, it's definitely got some of that oak spice to it. At this lower proof point, it just adds a little something more interesting.
The flavor's lingering on. It's not turning bitter on the palate. I feel like that's a well put together whiskey.
Yeah, it's not leaning into the really sweet flavors that some bourbons do. So if that's something that you prefer in a whiskey, you'd probably enjoy this a lot. So the next one we're doing is the third in the Bloodline series. This is their small batch. Has similar stats as the previous one. It is 6 to 9 year old blend. Proof is 94 to 96, same mash bill. It's just a smaller batch. It's only 1,500 bottles in these batches. This one's around that $80 price point where the one before it was $60.
Classic bourbon notes, vanilla caramel, got some leather, some oak, but it's got that kind of pink bubblegummy note that I like.
Okay, to me it has more of a sweet oak note.
I was skeptical, just a smaller batch size was going to bring that much more to the whiskey and warrant that extra $20 on the price tag. But on the nose, it's definitely better.
I'm guessing they pick out more of the barrels that have these notes that they like about it. It would be one that we would pick up.
For sure.
The next one we have is the Select Batch. It's 110 to 113 proof, and it's got the same mash bill as the other samples we've already tried. This one is a blend of 6 to 9 year old, and it's $100. This one is more light and kind of a little fruity. It's a different flavor profile, like that dusty pink bubblegum. Very much enjoy it. $100. I don't think that's a bad price for it.
This is the small batch. It's coming in like 112 to 120 proof. There's a range. It's not marked on here, so I don't know what this one is. And it's a couple years older. It's
8 to 9 years old.
And we could not find a price on this one. So that smells and tastes fantastic.
Okay, definitely a big step up in flavor. This one is dark.
Yeah.
It is decadent.
Tobacco.
It is rich. There is definitely tobacco on there.
Tobacco, leather, quintessential good bourbon. I don't know, like we said, the price. We're guessing $150, which, you know, it's high, but everything's high these days.
Honestly, I think it's a fair price. I would not be disappointed if I paid for this bottle and had it on my shelf. It's delicious.
Yeah, that's a great whiskey. Okay, last in our lineup, we've got the private stock. This is the super ultra top quality premium whiskey. It's just under $200. It's like $190. That's a hefty price tag.
Yes, it is.
I mean, you got legacy distillers out of Kentucky that aren't asking that for some of their top whiskeys. Let's see if this warrants it. What are the stats?
So this one's a little different than all the rest. It has a different mash bill. 70% corn, 10% honeyed wheat, 10% honeyed malted barley, and 10% distiller's malt. It has a proof range, again, of 114 to 120 plus. So, you know, I don't know how high that plus goes, but there's a range, again, for how they do it.
I don't know that I'm going to share this one with you.
Well, I think you're going to have to. It'll make it hard for me to review it if I haven't smelled or tasted.
When you hear $190 on the price tag, you want to hate that whiskey. You really do. You want to crap all over it. This frickin' smells amazing.
I get a lot of those like Buffalo Trace fruitiness level, which is a lot to say because I am a big fan of Buffalo Trace products, and this has a lot of that fruitiness that those ones have.
That statement is a huge compliment to Limestone Farms and their blending team because Buffalo Trace is the most chased bourbon in the world. Every tater out there loses their shit over Buffalo Trace, and this has those vibes.
And this one is only 8 years old, where the other ones had, all of the others had 9-year-old blended in. This one is just all 8-year-old bourbon.
I mean, I don't know that we gave any nosing notes other than it smells like Buffalo Trace, but...
I said fruity.
Yeah. If you were to cross fruit stripe gum with juicy fruit, I feel like you've got a pretty good indication of what this would smell like.
A lot of cherry though as well. All of that fruitiness I'm getting on the nose really transferred to the palate. It's a little bit spicy on the tongue. You get a lot of the tingling, but not so much. I'm not getting like crazy like, oh my gosh, this is burning my throat or anything, but it's really tingling the tongue, and it's super fruity, cherries, berries, all the fruits.
It's like drinking bourbon flavored silk. It's quintessential bourbon. I feel like that might warrant that price tag.
This is obviously by far my favorite of the lineup.
Oh, yeah.
But will we purchase Limestone Farms?
So at this point in our whiskey journey, I feel like we've got enough of the $40, $50, $60 bottles. Not that these are bad. I feel like they're appropriately priced. They're equivalent to what we have. We're just not chasing these. What we're looking for at this point in our journey is that wow experience. I feel like the small batch and the private stock are probably, I mean, it's early in the year, but they're some of the best stuff we've had this year. They're fantastic.
Yeah, big fan of it. Thank you, Tom, for sending us these samples. We have enjoyed tasting them. We are going to enjoy sharing them with other people as well so they can decide if they're going to buy. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of it. You know, it's just our opinion on these whiskeys. I think they're good. I think people would be happy with trying them.
Yeah, I think it's a quality product. I think Limestone Farms is an up-and-comer.
Thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Yeah, and again, I think these distilleries asking $100, $150, $200 for whiskey is stretching what the value. I'm not sure the value is there.
Okay.
The whiskey's good. The whiskey's very good. I don't know what it cost to source whiskey brand whiskey, put it in a bottle, ship it around the country, and get it on a shelf in a liquor store. I'm sure it's all very expensive, so that price is warranted. As a consumer, though, I want to see the trend go in the opposite direction.
Okay, well, when you bring that up, if I was in the store with you, I'd probably be like, oh, that's too much money. We don't need it. But even after trying it, I would probably do the same thing because I try to hold on to my money a little more than throwing it out. But I do think it's good, and I don't think people would be disappointed drinking.
And to Laura's point, we have plenty whiskeys in our collection that cost us more than $100 that this tastes better than.
And plenty that taste better than it.
So I feel like in today's market, it's appropriately priced. I feel like there's a good quality bourbon in that bottle. I get all of the notes that I enjoy when I'm drinking a bourbon that I expect to get. There's nothing standing out in any weird direction that is off-putting. This is good stuff.
Yeah, solid at the proof point that we enjoy, and great sipper.
If I come over to your house, please pour me that.
Exactly.